Hello. I'm actually outside this time. I like being outside when I videotape because the lighting's a lot better, as you can imagine. But one of the reasons I haven't been outside is because I've been working and it's winter. So by the time I get home, the sun is wanting to dip over the horizon, and it sucks. But the weather's nice today, and I happened to get off work just a little bit early, so I figured I'd come outside and make a video. Alright, so the review today is going to be on the K-Bar. The K-Bar, and its actual name on the K-Bar site is K-Bar Full Size Leather Straight Edge. Alright. Oh, look at that nasty shadow. But there she is. Alright. Now I did a short video on her a long time ago. I'm trying to reamp my my channel, and I'm trying to make it more interesting and try new things. So I figure I might as well come back to the same spot where I did one of my first videos of my my Gerber. My Gerber, what was it? It was a Bear Grylls Gerber knife or whatever. I still got it somewhere, but the sheath wore out on it, just so you guys know. I was able to heat it up, melt it, and it still works. It's just, you know, I got bigger and better knives to wear now. But it works. Anyways, so okay, so the brand is K-Bar, and the full size, it's called the Full Size Leather Straight Edge. The measurements on this are 7 pounds, or sorry, my bad. The measurements on this are 0.7 pounds. The blade length is 7 inches. The overall length is 11.875 inches, for those who care. It's got a 20-degree edge to it. It's made out of 1095 Cron Von steel. It's a flat grind. It's got a 56 to 58 HRC. The blade thickness is 0.165 inches. The knife's made in the US. The sheath is made in Mexico. I actually have the sheath on right now, but it's a basic sheath. Actually, I will take it off, but thank God for editing. This sheath says US Army on it, and it's got the Army signature, and it says K-Bar on it. Alright, now the snaps are really cool because with a hitting the thumb, you can get the snaps to come apart. You can make the snaps pop off if you just tug really hard, but they're important to have the knife hold in, or stay, excuse me, they're important to have the sheath. They're important on the sheath so that you can keep your knife in. There is a little bit of wiggle room, but I'm never worried about it. It doesn't amount to anything. Let's see, let me show you. Alright, so as you can see, it will come out. The leather stretches out a little bit, but it's not a big deal, guys. This is just to make sure it don't fall out. It won't fall out. Even if you hang on a second, slid it all the way up, it's still not going to fall out. Now, as you can tell, the difference between that leather and this leather, it all comes the same color when you get it. This is what happens whenever you end up trying to skin animals and you get blood on the leather. It turns dark, and it's kind of pretty. The only other thing is I gotta say about this setup is you can't really tell on this one, especially with this camera, but where the snap is, the bottom part of the snap, see where it's kind of rubbed silver right there? it rubs on your handle and it leaves a mark, but you can clean it off. It just, I don't really care what it looks like, I guess you could say. Let's see. Oh yeah, the cost on K-Bar, the site, is $104.90. You can find these cheaper elsewhere. I think this one was bought for $40, but oh, and it says U.S. Army on there too. But yeah, it was bought for $40. The paint on here, it will come off if you wear it all the time. If you're looking for a knife to be beautiful, don't ever wear it. That's all I could say. As you can tell, it's dirty as crap. It's got scrapes and all kinds of stuff. This is a well-used knife. Alright, guys? I've had this since what was it, April of last year, and so it's coming up on about, what's it, February, so it's coming up on, yeah, 10 months. I've had this for 10 months. Alright, it is worth the money, if it's your kind of knife. That is what else I'm getting to. Alright, let's see what all I've done. I've used it as a hammer. I've used it for prying all kinds of stuff. I've cut things with it. I've skinned animals with it. Trying to think what else. I used it as just a plain out pry bar, and it held up. It didn't bend or anything. So I use this literally more often than I use my Gerber, because it's just so simple. If I need to hammer something, bam. If I need to pry something, bam. If I need to cut something, bam. I don't even have to, you know, and that's like 90% of my job is just to hit shit. Oh, we scraped out, we had to clean out an old fuel furnace that was also attached to a wood furnace, and the fuel furnace stopped working, and we got in there to see why, and it's basically creosote backed up into the burners, and I literally had to scrape out the whole thing with this. So I had to break off the creosote, I had to scrape it out and stuff like that. This knife looks a lot better than what it did that day. But yeah, these knives are worth it. Okay, the pros of this knife. It comes razor sharp. Alright, we're talking about when I first got it, it actually scared me how sharp it was. The person who got it for me didn't even like holding it. It was so sharp. That's how sharp it is. Alright, guys, this thing comes really sharp. It's easy to sharpen. Alright, it's not that complicated. If anybody knows how to sharpen a knife, you can sharpen this knife. Alright, it's really easy. One of the cons of it, however, is the leather sheath. I love the leather sheath. I actually love the leather handle. I don't really, I mean, leather sheath works, but I really don't like the leather sheath. I really want one of those Kydex sheaths. Because you run the risk, guys, for anybody who isn't used to carrying fixed blades. The problem with the leather sheath, I don't know if you can see it, but you see how there's that line right there, where the outline of it? You run the risk of, if you fall down and your sheath hits the ground, that will break through, and you will just, your knife will stick through the sheath. The other con is, of course, leather sheaths dry out and wear out and stuff like that. Okay, one of the other cons is this is hard to conceal carry. Alright, it's basically impossible. If you can conceal carry this, it's probably hidden so well that you can't even reach it whenever you need it. Alright, guys? Now, if you buy this, there's a couple mods I recommend. I haven't modded this yet just because I'm lazy, I guess you could call it. But there is a couple mods that I want, and they make sense. And there's a couple things I want to do just because I found out they would work better that way. One of the mods, not very important around here in the Ozarks because you can't see a mile. like this is more for you guys that live out in the plains, but if you drill a hole right there, like a little peep sight, you can look down the peep sight and use that as like a front sight, the edge of the blade, and you can get a perfect line of sight. And then you can so be looking down at like this, right? And then you put a compass under it, and then you peer over it, and you can see your line of sight on your compass. All right, does that make sense to you guys? I hope it does. Another one is, some people just go ahead and get rid of this back guard. I'm not going to, but some people just get rid of that. They find it easier for some reason. I don't recommend that unless you just absolutely can't stand that. The other thing is, let's see, in the front of it. This is not a skinning knife as it comes, guys. You can skin. It's not made to skin. It's made to basically stab people. Alright, that's really what this whole thing's, that's what makes K-Bar famous, is because it's famous for stabbing people. But it is, in my classification, a utility knife because it's rough and rugged. If you want to turn this into a hunting knife for skinning game and stuff like that, what I recommend you do is you grind a line from the tip where I don't even know what this is called, this fake edge right here. Grind a line from right there all the way down. Alright, and then what that's going to do is you won't have it pointing up. It is really hard to tell, but this actually hooks up at the end, and you will rip the crap out of whatever you're skinning if you don't pay attention to that. I've only skinned squirrels with this, but and I got my own method for cutting into them without grabbing guts or anything. Let's see, but yeah, I recommend that mod. I do recommend. I just haven't done it yet because I'm lazy. One other mod is you can tell time. There's an entire video, you guys can look it up, but you can tell time. There's people who etch in a clock face on this, and there's a way to tell time by how you orient your blade into the ground and which way the shadow falls. But this knife is good for stabbing people. It is a utility knife because you can hammer, you can pry. This will take a beating. Look how thick that blade is. Alright, this blade is made to be stuck in things and yanked sideways, so they could actually get away with making this thinner, but they, you know, I'm not going to argue with their design. It's rough, it's rugged. It will none of this is going to fall apart, except with if you drop this today, none of this would fall apart except the leather. Alright, I highly recommend this. My particular K-Bar is made in Olean, New York. So if you guys like US stuff, I recommend this. Anyways, that's my video for today. Thanks, yeah. Anyways, I recommend this highly. It's very useful, and I carry it with me every day. Man, those trains are loud. Anyways, thanks for watching.